Aloha, you're watching This Is Now from the Hawaii News Now Digital Center. We're following breaking news here in Honolulu. We're told a guard was robbed as he was picking up money from the McDonald's on Nimitz Highway by the airport, and the suspect is still on the run. Witnesses say the guard was stripped of a money bag as he was getting into his armored car. The suspect got away as Good Samaritans tried to chase him down. We have a crew following this story, and of course we will bring you any additional details as they become available. Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Nagaoka.
And I'm Jonathan Sapi, your director producer here. Looks like, just another in a string of crime we've been seeing all week. Since the weekend we've been following this.
Yeah, police are investigating whether, this string of recent carjackings and theft and armed robberies are connected with two previous burglaries. Mileka Lincoln has more.
All right, let's listen in.
Aloha, good morning. According to police, 4 crimes that occurred on Sunday took place within the span of just 6 hours, but stretched from Kalihi to Kailua and may have a possible connection here in Kahala to a brazen smash and grab that occurred at this Macy's just a few weeks ago. Now, here's what we know for sure. A viewer snapped this photo of a pair of stolen vehicles parked at the Safeway on Beretania Street around 4 p.m. on Sunday. The blue Subaru, we're told, was stolen off of Lusitania Street around noon that same day. The masked suspects, armed with guns, then used that car to rob 3 tourists in Kailua just 2 hours later. Then 2 hours after that, the driver of the same car carjacked a 69-year-old man in Niu Valley at gunpoint. Then a third carjacking was called in from the 7-Eleven on Kalihi Street around 5 p.m. Sunday, where 2 sisters say they got into a fender bender off Nimitz Highway, and when they pulled into the convenience store parking lot to exchange info, that's when they said someone jumped into their car and sped away, followed by a blue Subaru and a silver Toyota 4Runner. Now, sources say police are now looking into if these crimes are all connected to recent smash and grab burglaries at 2 Macy's stores. Those crimes also involve stolen vehicles and men wearing masks. 3 suspects were caught on surveillance tape around 2 a.m. November 4th, ramming a vehicle through the doors of the Macy's department store's second-level entrance at Ala Moana. According to police, the truck used in that smash and grab had been stolen from the mall's parking lot hours before the heist. That same pickup truck, again believed to be used as the getaway vehicle, was later found abandoned and engulfed in flames in the Punch Bowl area of Makiki. Now, a similar smash and grab incident occurred in the middle of the night, October 20th, at the Kahala Mall Macy's. Police say a truck, again, was used to ram through the store's door and an undisclosed amount of merchandise was stolen. Now, if you have any information about this, you're asked to call police or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 955-8300. And this is, again, if you have any information that can help police piece together exactly what has happened here. We've got all the details available on our website as well at hawaiinewsnow.com. For now.
Thank you, Mileka. And now to severe weather. An Arctic blast is sweeping the eastern 2/3 of the U.S., moving millions to bundle up earlier than usual and putting people as far south as Texas at risk for snow and ice. This is a live look at Chicago. About 70% of the nation's population is expected to see temperatures at or below freezing by tomorrow morning, and hundreds of records are expected to fall with temperatures generally 20 to 40 degrees below normal. So we wanted to check in with the coldest place we could find. Let's go out live to our friend WSAW meteorologist Chad Franzen in Wausau, Wisconsin. Hey Chad, how's it feel out there? You said 14 degrees?
Yeah. Wind chill's above 0. It's balmy out here. All this sunshine. It's a lot like Hawaii if you think about it. Great amount of sunshine, great people. Just about 80 degrees off of where you guys have been the last couple of days, to say the least.
I'm sure you're in shorts right now, right? Yeah, I'm sure you're in shorts right now, right, Chad? You can hear me, right? Chad, you still with us? Chad, you still with us there? Alright, I think we might have lost Chad. Oh no! Give him one more chance to respond. Chad. Okay, we lost Chad.
Oh, there we go. I lost you there for a second. I'm sorry.
You froze. You literally froze on us.
Well, with all this sunshine out here, gets the equipment when you're sitting there with temperatures just barely above zero, and of course that wind chill near zero. We are about 20 degrees, as you mentioned, about 20 degrees below our average high for this time of year. And while we should have been near 40 degrees today, obviously well less than that. And unfortunately for a good portion of the upper Midwest, central Wisconsin included, it is going to be a cold one for the next several days, and we'll get a little more snowfall on the way as well.
Well, Chad, I thank you so much for braving those elements out there. We're actually going to check in with you guys on your station. We're going to do a little tag team here. We'll see you in an hour there at WSAW, and shout out to all our friends over there in Wisconsin. Thank you so much.
Stay warm, Chad.
Great.
All right, Chad, thank you for being a good sport. I know we lost him for a bit, but I'm glad we got a little bit of an update there from him. He was a great sport.
Standing out there waiting until his head came up.
I know. All right, let's get a check of our weather.
Yep,
with
different
our
forecast for sure.
very own Guy Hoggy.
Aloha on this Tuesday. I'm Guy Hoggy with your HawaiiNewsNow.com forecast. More passing fronts pushing away the trade wind breezes, light winds for the next few days. And that means higher than normal humidity levels and some afternoon showers, maybe even a couple of downpours. For right now, though, you can see it's mostly dry out there, save for a couple of windward showers. Now, with all the sunshine today, temperatures will be soaring again into the upper 80s. But with the light winds, it's going to feel much warmer than these numbers suggest because of the heat index and the high humidity levels. And because of the light winds and those onshore sea breezes, we'll likely get some afternoon clouds and maybe even some afternoon showers, perhaps a few downpours. Now, the surf's on the way down pretty much island-wide. Maybe some overhead sets up in the country, but this swell is dropping quickly, although we've got big swells coming on Thursday and again over the weekend. So the Triple Crown is looking good with a start most likely on Thursday or Friday. South Shore is dropping down to 2 to 4 feet. So this stretch of light winds going to continue at least through Thursday, maybe even into Friday. And that means just a few spotty showers, mainly in the afternoon. More showers are due in sometime over the weekend as a cold front drops in. So it could be a little soggy Saturday and Sunday. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
Yeah, Triple Crown coming to town. Yes.
Definitely a different forecast in Wisconsin.
Yeah. You know what? We got a story that our chief investigative reporter has been following for some time now. Who stole the mailbox?
I know, it's kind of become this big mystery here in Hawaii, but you know what, the Kealohas, they're convicted and awaiting sentencing and all these plea deals. Someone may be forced to say who did it.
Yeah. Well, she filed a report on that. Let's take a listen, and then we're going to check in with her in just a bit.
A 6-year mystery. Who committed the minor crime that had major consequences on Hawaii's law enforcement community?
Do you still want to know to this day?
Yeah, I want to know who took the mailbox.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's either another police officer or it's one of the defendants in disguise.
Do you want to know who took it?
Well, it'd be nice to know who took it.
The grainy video has had people guessing for years. Whoever was driving the white Lexus in June 2013, wearing sunglasses at night, knew the mailbox would be unscrewed and ready for the taking. The crime at the Kahala home of then Police Chief Louis Kealoha and his deputy prosecutor wife, Catherine, came not long after her uncle, Gerard Puana, accused her of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from his elderly mother. Puana was arrested, jailed, and prosecuted for the staged crime. But a federal jury this year convicted the Kealohas for the setup.
Whoever took the mailbox should be responsible for their part in setting up an innocent man. Whoever took the mailbox should have to face the consequences like everybody else. 2
other Honolulu police officers, Bobby Wynn and Derek Hahn, were also convicted in the mailbox trial. All of them are awaiting sentencing.
If it were one of the defendants who's been found guilty, I would hope that they would come clean and come forward and tell them, because that would be highly important information and it might help them at sentencing.
Last month, when Catherine Kealoha, the mastermind of the mailbox operation, pleaded guilty to additional crimes of bank fraud and identity theft, part of her plea deal included a promise of cooperation. So Special Prosecutor Michael Wheat could ask.
Well, he can, but I can tell you right now that Catherine Kealoha doesn't know who stole the mailbox.
I think people would be surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
If she's not asked, we may never know who committed the crime that launched the state's largest public corruption scandal.
All right, joining us now is our very own Lynn Kawano. Another fascinating report there from you. What I'm wondering about this is, when was the mailbox stolen exactly?
June of 2013, so it's been more than 6 years now.
Oh man, and then no one's been able to identify that man in that video?
I cannot believe that. The federal prosecutors have been working on that for 6 years. The FBI, they've been able to find everything else. They've wrapped up so many people in this public corruption scandal, and yet they cannot figure out who stole the mailbox. But now that Catherine Kealohas has agreed, she's got to cooperate. There is no end to this cooperation. There's no limit to this cooperation, meaning it can be any topic. It can be about, the prosecutor's office. It can be about the mailbox, even though that trial is over. And a lot of people would like the prosecutor to say, hey, who stole the mailbox? And if she is willing to cooperate, which she says she has, she says she's accepted responsibility, I think she has to tell them the truth.
We heard her attorney say she doesn't know. How is that possible?
I find that hard to believe. I think so many people find that very hard to believe, right? It was their house. It was a staged crime. She was the mastermind of all of this. How can she possibly not know? So I think that she has already maintained to her attorney, Earl Partington, that she doesn't know. She's always said it was either Gerard or she just doesn't know. Now's the time to ask. Now's the time to really figure out who stole the mailbox. It's the mystery that may not matter anymore from a legal standpoint, but I think the public really wants to know who caused this crime that really unraveled this massive public corruption case.
I think another thing people really want to know is what's life like for Catherine. I've heard rumors, but I don't know how much is verified. What's her life like day to day now?
The only thing that I can tell you is from what attorneys who have clients in there say, or they go and they visit their clients in there. And it's a very strict routine, right? You wake up at a certain time, you eat at a certain time, you go outside at a certain time. Everybody has their routines. So she's fitting in well from what people say. She's handling herself. She has made friends, and she's doing okay in there. She also, though, has been in the shoe for quite a long time. For several weeks, she's in the shoe. There have been a lot of rumors.
Right?
That's solitary.
Okay.
So the shoe is actually SHU, and it's special housing unit, and it's basically solitary. And there have been rumors about what that's really about. We don't know for sure, but there are 7 women total in the shoe related to the incident she's in there for.
And that incident, can we talk about that? Have we confirmed it, or?
We don't have it confirmed. Her attorney, Earl Partington, confirmed some of what we heard, which it has to do with just some arguing with some other inmates, not necessarily only Cat Kealohas, but you kind of form factions in prison, and they say that this had to do with a faction. So she went in there, it was just about 3 or 4 of them, now it's up to 7.
The other defendants in the case, the former police officers, have they said we didn't steal it?
No one has said anything. So the prosecutors have hinted that it's Bobby Wynn based on the trial pictures. They would show pictures and compare him to the size of the mailbox thief, compare what he's wearing to the mailbox thief, hinting that they thought Bobby Wynn was the mailbox thief. But nobody has said, nobody's come forward. And one thing to note, if Bobby, now that he's convicted and he's awaiting sentencing, if he really did steal that mailbox, coming forward could help him in sentencing, could get him possibly a lighter sentence. The judge could see it as a positive step in the right direction for Bobby. So right now, if it really is Bobby or Derek Hahn, the other officer who was convicted, it only helps them to come forward and solve this mystery for us.
You don't think they think it might hurt them by admitting to it? Because it started all of this, right?
Yeah. Well, at this point, they're going to be sentenced for the conspiracy and obstruction. There's nothing else they can do about that. They cannot get them for the mailbox theft any more than they've already been convicted. So at this point, I don't see anything but an upside for one of them to come forward. For most of us, it's just kind of a mystery, right?
Yes.
The seedy little crime that only 2 of the 10 cameras caught, and things like, we just want to know for our personal satisfaction, but really legally, there's no benefit, except possibly the judge could see it in their favor.
Well, we've got you here. You broke one of the biggest political corruption stories in decades for the state. What reaction do you get from the public when you're out there covering on the beats or just everyday life?
Thank you. I don't really want to take a lot of credit for it, but when I did first start, a lot of people doubted it. They loved the Kealohas. Everybody loved Louis Kealoha. He was so charismatic. I've had dinner with him and some of his deputy chiefs, and he's just very charismatic. Everybody loved him. So I got a lot of people upset when I started reporting on this, saying I was wrong, that he didn't know anything about this, and that I was speculating. Catherine Kealohas, same thing. A lot of people loved her. She has that sweet voice. She seems very caring. So it was very difficult to gain the support. But I think once this started going along and people started seeing the grand jury videos of people coming out and all these officers coming out and the FBI coming every week and every month to grand jury, I think people started to believe it. And when I'm out, people do say, good job on that. And it does. It feels good.
Well, good job on that. Terrific, award-winning reporting.
Thank you.
And you're great. All right, switching gears a bit, we're going to talk about lava recovery, another big story from last year, of course. And we have an update on that, right, Ashley?
Yep, so work on a Hawaii boat ramp could restore ocean access to an area hit hard by the eruption. Lacey Denise has this story.
The Department of Land and Natural Resources is expected to seek funding to establish ocean access at a boat ramp cut off by the Kilauea eruption. Pohoiki Boat Ramp was closed back in 2018, shortly after Kilauea began erupting. The only ramp between Hilo and Miloli'i became landlocked by a black sand and cobblestone beach and affected the ability of fishermen to access the ocean. A short-term proposal involves driving sheet pile walls into the ground on either side of the ramp entrance and dredging the channel to provide temporary ocean access. The state likely would have to prepare an environmental assessment and obtain the necessary permits for the work. A long-term solution under consideration involves a new boat ramp on the north side of Pohoiki Bay. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is reviewing that proposal, which is estimated to cost $28 million.
All right, thanks, Lacey, for that report. Another big step that's just hopefully days, maybe weeks away. I have an email out to Hawaii County to ask them about this Highway 132. My good friend Ingrid Webb over there in Pahoa sent this picture on Facebook. You can see how much work has been done on that once lava-covered highway there. It's such an important artery for the folks down there. And we understand, we got an update last month that said it could be this month that it could open, but any day now, hopefully, that those folks will be using that on the daily. And I really, really, really cannot wait for that to happen.
Yeah, access is such a huge part of recovery, so really crossing our fingers on that.
All right, so this is our debut week of This Is Now. Actually, there's been a few hiccups. We lost our weather reporter there for a moment, but I still think we're doing better than the launch of Disney's new streaming service.
I know, they launched overnight. They've had some issues too, but I mean, for $7 a month, they're hoping that that price will draw people because there's so much competition out there, right?
Yeah.
Netflix, Hulu, with all the streaming
Amazon
services.
Prime,
yeah.
everything.
So John Fryer takes a look at Disney Plus.
Here we go.
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
It's no fairy tale. Hundreds of movies are now available on Disney Plus. From the company's earliest animated classics, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs,
I've been fighting with one arm tied behind my back,
to modern hits like Captain Marvel. Mickey lovers are all ears.
I'm the big Disneyland fan, so maybe I might get it.
The new streaming service costs $6.99 a month or $69.99 for a yearly subscription. It can be watched on TVs, web browsers, or apps and features movies and TV series from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars.
And no TV!
You'll even get 30 years worth of Simpsons episodes.
Don't!
I really like the selection. I grew up on Disney, so it's kind of nostalgic.
Disney's rollout comes 2 weeks after Apple entered the streaming market. At $4.99 a month, Apple TV Plus boasts A+ stars like Jennifer Aniston in The Morning Show, though the service's initial shows have not generated much critical acclaim.
There's not content on there that I'm immediately excited about.
Still, second seasons have already been ordered for 4 of Apple's shows, and according to multiple reports, sources close to Apple say the service delivered millions of viewers right off the bat, thrilling the company.
Everybody else that I know has it, and they're saying how the shows are great, so it's just a matter of time.
For viewers, it's all adding up. If If you signed up for all 7 of these streaming services, it would cost you about $75 a month, and that's not counting your cable or internet bills.
I feel like the market is completely oversaturated. It's getting difficult to know what one has and the other one doesn't.
That's one reason why Disney is offering a bundle. Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu with ads for $12.99 a month, trying to keep viewers from going against the stream.
I'm not sure I need to keep piling it on, but on the other hand, I don't want to miss anything.
All right. Wow, that's expensive. You know, to get all those streaming services, that adds up.
I see the draw too. I mean, I love Disney. I love Marvel. The Netflix is losing The Office. So what's the point of having Netflix anymore?
Well, now you can get 30 years of The Simpsons, the greatest show on earth. But there were all sorts of hiccups this morning with people. We had coworkers here saying they were getting error messages all morning, couldn't log on. So a lot of people are complaining about that. You would expect there to be problems. They're saying it's because of demand, but I think it was a widespread problem. I'm sure, certainly they're working on a fix, and eventually it will get, going smoothly.
Yeah, it's Disney. They'll work the kinks out for sure.
And so will we. Thank you for watching. This is now our Facebook Live show, all our digital platforms. It's a brand new show here. We're going to be here every day with you. I'm Jonathan Sapi. I'm your director-producer here. That's why I got these headphones on, all fancy. And this is Ashley.
You can see me on Hawaii News Now. I'm a reporter as well. So, yeah, thank you for watching This Is Now. And we'll leave you with a beautiful live shot of Honolulu, sunny skies, making our friends on the mainland feeling really jealous.
Bye, guys.